Hello, everybody. Brian here yet again. Just whizzing through some live streams today. Just wanted to remind you, just put up a stream of what is the best gold combination to get in terms of return when it comes to gold. I showed that ETFs can get you okay return, but if you want to double that, you want to do exactly what you see here. Well, gold and Japanese yen, and you'll probably be able to nearly double your return against ETFs of gold. Anyway, so I want to do a comparison of individual stocks that have been hot lately, and I'm going to show you how those work. So the first thing I want to show you are the hot market sectors right now in the markets. Now this is over the last week or so. So we're looking at commodity metal. So these are not gold metal. This is commodity metal because I have a separate category, as you can see here, for commodity gold. So right here alone, that should be enough to tell you that gold producers, miners, whatever, are going to generate 4.68%. Meanwhile, with commodity metal, you can get three times as much, roughly. Plus, we have energy, health, biotech, some European, and gold in here. So I'm going to show you some of the stocks, and we'll do the comparison between that and gold in yen. All right, so let me go over my second spreadsheet here just to give you some metrics that you can use. So this is what I do, is that these are the actual stocks. These are the returns over the last 20 days. These are the returns over the last 50 days. Also, I use these two indicators, technical, Arun up, Arun down. You can kind of use these as a measurement for potential breakout over the next day or so, and they're pretty reliable. So if you see a Arun of 100 on the Arun up and pretty well close to an Arun down, 0 or close to it, chances are you may have a good breakout. On top of that, we look at the volume. We look at the number of recommendations from institutional, meaning it's basically a rating. The higher it is, the better. The closing price. And these are the strong buy recommendations, yet again, as I said, from the institutions. Okay, so obviously you don't want sell recommendations, especially going into a recession, but strong and buy is what you're after. So these are different ways to use forward guidance, fundamental, and timing to see if you're going to have a breakout and if these are underway, breaking out, or about to break out based upon these forward-looking indicators and fundamentals. So when you go over, I'm going to pull this over here. I'm just going to look at some of these. So let me pull up TradingView here, and I'm going to do some comparisons, okay? So I'm going to show you the first one is top. So that's Top Financial Group. Now, again, I don't know these stocks, right? But again, this is the kind of movement you don't want to see. This is definitely a stock I wouldn't go with. So let me get rid of that. So what I'll do instead is to look at, see, there's no buy or sell. So this is probably manipulated on the stock market. So you kind of want to focus on these things right here. This is probably another one, HUDI. Let me just check that one out, how that one's doing as well. That just does a quick comparison. This one's probably not going to be a wise one. So yet again, same problem. No good. So now you learn, right? So let's look at some legit ones. This one, TRVN, Arun up at 85, but you can see it still has the Arun down at 64. So the Arun down's kind of high, but it has pretty good recommendations here. But the overall recommendation is fairly low. So I'll just put that in as a comparison. TRVN. You can always find winners by going through this list here. So we have here Trevina, we have Travelers. So let me put that one in there. So you can see here there's not a good recommendation compared to gold. So again, you can see that's not doing too good, even though it says, well, let's look at the 5-day here. So even on a actually, okay, so you can see what happened here. There's probably some kind of pump, positive news, and it's still When you look at the gold against Japanese yen, yay, but like that stock has just drifted down. So there's no momentum in this stock at all. So coming back to this, we have here IMGN. It's probably a drug producer that we all know. But here's why I'm not going to look at it. Too many sell recommendations. So yeah, this is not a good space to be in. But what I'll do is I'll look at this one. So this is CARM. We have here an okay 5-day return here at 0.72, not great, but the Arun's fairly high. The Arun down, not too great. So let me just go through that. So this one is CARM. So let me just do that as a comparison. So CARM. So Charisma Therapeutic. How's that looking? Same story. Did fairly well. Just got killed. So if you got any questions or whatnot, please type them up. It's really important to understand these are the best performers right now in the markets. I mean, there's the usual Apple. Let me just show you Apple. So again, this goes back to, well, let me show you. Yeah, let me do Apple first. That's 5-minute data. So you can see here, Apple's just kind of not doing great against this one. But if I go on a 5-day or 1 month, yeah, Apple's killing it, it looks like. So Apple alone's doing pretty good. And we got to remember in 2008, Apple was looked upon, oddly enough, as a safe haven trade, as no different than a stock index. And I think that is turning out to be the case with Apple. So you can see here on a 3-month. And remember, this is the best performing combination to hold gold at 11%. As I said, this is double than the standard ETFs for gold, as I showed in the previous video. So this goes all the way back to March. Year-to-date matters. And you can see here, Apple's doing pretty good against gold. So let me keep that up there as just as an example here and just kind of go through here if we can find anything that's really worthwhile to look at. We have here MRKR. Let me just see what that's about. MRKR, Marker Therapeutics, not too good. And as you go down that stock list I just showed you, this gets worse. And I've got probably well over a couple thousand. You can see there, it's into the 3,000, 3,500. So this is how bad the markets are doing, like at a micro level. So a lot of these stocks are not very strong. So what you're seeing in the stock market, it's probably, I just saw a tweet, they say it's about 15 stocks in the markets that are holding up the market, making the markets look pretty good. So if you're willing to hold those, that's great. Will you be able to get outperformance? Probably not. So the less trading you do, the better returns you get from what we're seeing here. Here's another one. TIO. Let's see what that's about. TIO. So that's Tingo Group. Oh my God, 257%. So that price, let me pull up another chart here. TIO. Okay, let's look at the details here. That's why I wanted to show this on purpose here. So when you go through that list, you'll see these odd winners. So you can see here, March 23rd, it's done very well, and it's been running up. So it's run up. What was that, 200 and something percent return? Okay, so when you go through that list, you'll find the occasional winner, and if you know how to time it properly, you can kill it real good. And that was just looking at what am I looking for? Well, we're looking here, the Arun up. The rating's not too bad. And let me just make sure we got that right. And no one wants to rate it, but yet we got the return. So there's always these occasional winners that come along. And I didn't even know that. So I just randomly picked that. So let me just pull up another one here. Let's see here. If there's any requests that you see that you want me to pick off, let me know. Here's one we could try. Actually, we just tried that. So usually what I look for are these ones with the really strong returns. So let's say BLCM. So you can see here the Arun down and Arun up and down is fairly what we want. And that's going to be a small stock again. So let's check that out. So I'll keep that TIO. So that's BLCM, I believe. LCM Pharmaceutical. So that one's not too, no, it's not bad. But what really matters is how's it doing intraday. So BLCM is still beating TIO. You can see here with Apple and Gold that this right now, let's see the 1 month. Yeah, so it's killing the TIO as well. This is why I'm showing you this, because there are stocks out there that do pretty good. Here's the problem though, you want to see momentum. You want to see this solid momentum to continue as people pile into that particular stock. You can see here that the volume has picked up right here based upon that red negative bar. This is going to start to decline. So this was an opportunity. Boom. You can see that big red bar right here. It's going to drop without a doubt. And you can probably see that on the micro level. If I looked at 1 hour, yeah, you can see right here. They started to load up right there. Now, I don't know why manipulation, because it is a small stock. So that can't happen. So let me clean this up again, and we'll look at another one here. So let's look at this hook. There's not a lot, but you can see here what I would be concerned about is a sell recommendation. These were just generated like yesterday. So let's take a look at this hook as well. So again, you can see these are small pharmaceutical companies. Basically, a lot of people don't want to trade these. I don't blame them. But look, pretty nice steady momentum again. Will it continue? I can't say. Let me just do this one here. So I've just shown you 3 examples of some small stock companies. Penny stocks, really. Doing pretty good. Now, if you know how to time them properly, you can do fairly well. So how does that compare against that TO? So I love this feature from TradingView. Very easy to use. You can see there, right there, 40% return since the beginning of May, half for 2 weeks. You'd be up 87%, 40% for this one, TIO. Now, again, if you look at the 1 month, they started to turn here back in April, really started to take off. 167%, 104%. How does that compare to something like, let's say, Bitcoin? Okay, so we didn't get Bitcoin here. Okay, Bitcoin. Yeah, we'll do Coinbase. So here's your, on Bitcoin. But meanwhile, these particular stocks have done pretty good. So again, what floats your boat? At the end of the day, we want returns. And those are just 2 examples you can easily find using these methodologies I built out. It's kind of like going through the rubbish bin at a dollar store, and you might find those occasional winners. So those are pretty good. And it doesn't take much, because I just looked at this one, right? And I base it upon things like what's the returns for 20-day, what's the returns for 50-day. And this one right here is what really matters. So even if I look at this one right here, VYNE, okay, so it doesn't have a lot of attention, but it does have a sell recommendation here. Still a small stock, but let's check out that one just as for kicks. So it doesn't take much to find these winners if you're willing to trade them. That's the question. So we are now going to add in VYNE, VYNE. And that was another pharmaceutical company. So that is this one right here. These are really hot little companies. 159%, pretty strong. Why is this happening? Like, it's basically, as I showed you, the pharmaceuticals over the last few weeks was very strong. You can see here the biotech. So these small stocks, these penny stocks, are either one of these two. Okay. So if I was to do the same thing and look at metal, you could probably find those little stocks that are performing really well as well. And if you're watching this on a daily basis, you could probably pick up, as I showed you, how fairly easy it is to pick up these stocks. So right here, this one could be another one, EYPT. So you got, let's see, the Arun up's not that strong. TO we just looked at. ONTX could be another one. Some sell recommendations. So check out that. So what was that? ONTX. Okay, so let's look at that one. And it doesn't take much to find them. And if that's the style of trading you want, and you can make real serious money, as you can see here on these returns, and that's for the last month or so, 3 month here, still really good. And they started just taking off in the third week of April. So what you're wanting to do is to time what are going to be the hot sectors to trade in. And voila, that's how you get your timing down. But let me just try one more. I believe it was ONTX. So we'll look at that one. Again, another small therapeutic company. Let's check that out. And where does it rank? Still beat, well, not much. Okay, 14%. That's a 3 month, but if you do the 1 month, you can still see now you're going to get an 85% return over the last month on that particular one. That's pretty incredible. And these stocks are very small, very, very cheap because they're small. Let's see the 5-day ONTX. So it's starting to underperform. So the timing would be off there, but daily, yeah. So if you picked this one up early, you could have done fairly well. So let me go back to that chart here. And let me put in ONTX, the value of that one and the closing price. So this one, yeah, these are penny stocks. I'm not saying you should do it, but just be aware that some of these penny stocks can do pretty good if you pick up the trend of a particular sector and you start looking at them. But right now, this is my overall performers. Like the whole rank, as I said, I've got over 3,000 of them. And the higher they are up in the list, you can see here 3,500 right there. So if you were just to focus on the top 20, top 25, top 100, you could find these things and be able to see when they're about to break out using these metrics right here, rank them against each other and see which one's going to give you, and be able to give you these crazy returns. Like, I mean, you got gold in here, gold against Japan. That's your best gold play you can get out there. I've shown that in the previous stream. Doubling any gold ETF, okay? I've also, just for comparisons, for benchmark Apple as well. And you can see these things just blew away both of those benchmarks. So on the 5-day, yeah, you can see when they start to break out, and that's what the Arun metrics are for as well. So these are your top 4 penny stocks in the pharmaceutical, therapeutic sector space, whatever. And you could probably find the same, as I said, with a commodity metal as well. So it's pretty powerful stuff if you're willing to put the time in and all that fun stuff. Other than that, thanks for watching. Have yourselves a good day.